Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports Television. I'm your host, Gary Glenn. Now, we got a lot of springtime sports. We're just wrapping up all the wintertime stuff. Springtime sports getting cranked up, but we're going to go back and open the show this week with a fall sport. And the reason I say that is that because the journey for Riverside Military Academy football took a little bit of a different path last week with a coaching change. The Eagles will now be led next year by former defensive coordinator, now head coach Kelly Davis. Well, I should say next football season, this year, but next football season. Coach Gary Downs, you see, will be moving on to the college ranks at East Tennessee State. And it was a day of mixed emotions as Coach Downs laid the foundation for the program to help rebuild it in the last 3 years. And we bring to the show now the aforementioned Kelly Davis. And first of all, I guess it was a day of mixed emotions, wasn't it, Coach?
Very much, Gary. It was a day for me that I've been looking forward to. Becoming a head coach, but at the same time, Coach Downs has been so good to me. 3 years ago, he gave me my shot to come in and be a defensive coordinator here at Riverside Military, and we've done it together. And to see him leave, it is a bittersweet day.
Tell me a little bit about your background now. Where you coming from? What your background is in football and so forth.
Well, for the retired military, 20 years. Retired out at Fort Gillem, Georgia. And I got started in football at Dunwoody High School. About 12 years ago, I began as a lay coach, 9th grade defensive line coach, and I worked my way up at Dunwoody. I was at Dunwoody for 8 years and ended up becoming the defensive coordinator at Dunwoody High. I had done just about everything to do, and I was looking for a new challenge, and Riverside provided me with that opportunity to become their defensive coordinator.
So now Riverside, has it been a learning experience at Riverside for you? I mean, you got an extensive background, said, and played and coached for quite a while, but this type with a military school, that's got to be a little bit of an education, Kelly.
It is. Coming in, when I first came into Riverside, I wasn't sure what to expect, of course, with the military background, but getting in and seeing these young men, there's really not a big difference, really, when it comes down to from public school to Riverside. We're trying to mold young men into becoming character, disciplined young men, not just football, but once they get out of school as well.
But with the difference, the fact is sometimes you don't know who you got coming back till they come back. Whereas around here, most of the time they got a strong summertime program and so forth.
Exactly. That's a huge part of the program. The last 3 years with Coach Downs, last season was our first year of doing something in the summer, 7-on-7s.
Yeah.
We went to UGA and competed. We had enough local kids that were coming back to Riverside that we were able to go and compete. We didn't have the numbers that Gainesville would have or anyone of that nature, but we were able to take 15 or 18 kids and go compete. Same with the local FCA. They do a great job here of a 7-on-7 in July. We went over there and competed and did very well. But it is August 6th. That's the day. It's almost like Christmas for me, because that's when the kids show up for football camp, and sometimes you don't know where they're coming from or who's coming back.
Or what kind of background they've got in football, because I've done some of your games on radio and TV and so forth, and I look at your roster and every now and then I look down and I go, China. Seriously, China. From China,
Your backup middle linebacker may be from Cairo, Egypt, or something of that nature. You never know where the kids are going to come from. But to me, that's the opportunity of being able to take a young man like that that's never played. Sometimes we have to show them how to put the equipment on, the shoulder pads, helmet, and go from that. But it is rewarding to see those kids, stick with it and come through at the end of the season with those big smiles and know that they've become a part of the team as well.
Yeah, and the military lifestyle and the discipline of football, I would think, would complement one another fairly well.
It does. For us, that's my big word for this year is discipline. We have to be a more disciplined team on the field and off the field as well. In football, if you self-inflicted wounds, holding penalties or anything, that sets you back. We want to be a team that's going to be known for playing hard and not making a lot of mistakes.
One goal's got to be to get over that hump, to get to a winning record, because you've been close, and I watched some of your scores and so forth, and some of those games could have gone either way, but you wound up on the short end of things.
It has. We've already talked with I've addressed the staff and the kids, and we've said that we want to win. That's the bottom line of going out there on Friday nights. this past season was a tough season for us. We had high expectations going into the season.
Would you finish 3-7?
We finished 3-7, but we had the lead in 8 of those 10 ball games.
Wow.
Would you believe? And we just got to learn to finish, and that's the second word for us this spring is finish. When the kids know that we can win, we can compete with anybody in the region, and we believe that. And we're gonna get started on it here soon.
But it is a tough region in a lot of ways.
It is tough. I mean, if you look all the way top to bottom, Rabun County won the region last year.
With former coach from Flowery Branch up there, Lee Shaw.
Coach Shaw has done a great job up there. Union County had one of the top quarterbacks, and the Mancuso kid, he's coming back for his senior season, so we know we'll have our work. And then, of course, you go down south of our region, and you got Wilkes County and Greene County, so it doesn't get much easy. Every week is a struggle.
I know that you don't have a roster that's set in concrete, but you got to have a little bit of a feel for folks you expect to be back with you. So what you got coming back, Coach?
I do. Right now we would say that our strength's going to be on our offensive line, and we do have a little bit of skill guys coming back. Right now it would be led with our quarterback would be coming back, Lyle Lopez. He played the last part of the season for us. And then up front we're going to be anchored by Tavares Hooks, who's about a 6'2" offensive and defensive lineman. And Maxwell McGinnis played outside linebacker and a little bit of running back for us last year. So those are the guys that are taking the lead on the team right now, and we're going to lean on them very hard, as you can expect.
Well, you sound like you're pretty excited, Kelly.
I'm very excited. The opportunity is, I'm thankful for Riverside and Colonel Benson and Mark Pagley giving me the opportunity to become a head coach. And I'm excited. I'm ready to get after it. I wish August could get here.
First head coaching job. You only have one first, right?
You can only have one first. I've learned so much already in this first week. It's been up and down already. But, the bottom line is about the boys, and we're excited about that.
Get somebody to help you with all that paperwork, and you'll be okay.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a big difference between an assistant and the head man.
Well, X's and O's, when you're the D coordinator or the offensive coordinator, it's all about the X's and O's. And at the top of the chain, you got to start with it's all of it before you even get down to the X's and O's.
Well, as they say, offense scores points, but defense wins championships. So
I'm a firm believer in that one.
All right. Kelly, thanks for coming in.
Thank
you
very much,
Good luck with
Gary.
Riverside.
I appreciate it.
Kelly Davis, new head football coach at Riverside Military Academy. Well, we'll head back to the Diamond when we start our springtime wrap-up in just a bit.
You've decided it's time to get in shape. Now let Falcon Parkway Fitness in Flowery Branch help you achieve your goal. Open since 2000, Falcon Parkway Fitness features free weights, exercise machines, group fitness classes, as well as personal training in a fun family environment with childcare, lockers, showers, and 24-hour access. Come by for a free consultation with a certified personal trainer. And just next door, check out Optimum Body Care Day Spa with massage, facials, and waxing, or K. Michael Salon for hair and nail care. Falcon Parkway Fitness is your hometown family gym, located in Flowery Branch, right behind the public shopping center.
We're back. I'm Gary Glenn, Hall County Sports. This is our baseball segment here for this week's show. Johnson got its first win of the baseball season in large part thanks to Joel Munoz's walk-off grand slam with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. That led the Knights to a 6-3 victory against Lakeview. Munoz also was the starting pitcher, going 5 innings before being relieved by Chandler Barkley, who threw 2 innings to get the win. West Hall's Kyle Reynolds tossed a no-hitter, and the Spartans beat Johnson 13-0, but they turned around and lost to North Forsyth 10-0 last Saturday. Gary Glenn here at West Hall High School, where West Hall has just defeated East Hall 8-7 with a tremendous comeback. After trailing for most of the game, they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th to tie it, and then they win it in extra innings. The Spartans actually used 4 pitchers tonight, and the guy who threw a no-hitter the other night against Johnson, Kyle Reynolds, comes in and gets the win on the hill. And it was a great win for the Spartans as they score 8 runs on 10 hits. They commit only 2 errors. They left 13 on base. East Hall, 7 runs on 4 hits, committing 5 errors, and they left 7 the final once again, 8-7. And after the game, I had a chance to talk with Wesley Crow, the head coach for the Vikings, as well as Dustin Renspies, the head coach for West Hall. And the man who had the game-winning hit, it was Merritt Gazaway, who had a bunt single that drove in Austin Henderson for the final score of 8-7. With East Hall head coach Wesley Crow now, Wes, tough way to lose that one coming from behind. They came from behind in the bottom of the 7th, and you guys have played a lot of games in a very few amount of days, haven't you?
Yeah, well, we played 4 in the last 5 days, so this makes 5 and 7. So it's a lot of baseball.
Yeah. Did you run out of gas a little bit, or what was it?
I mean, West Hall, you got to give the credit to them. They kept swinging the bat. I mean, they kept putting the ball in play, kept putting it in play, and good things happen when you do that.
But your starting pitcher went a good long time, didn't he?
He was awesome.
Eli Stewart?
Eli was great tonight. The kid threw his butt off. I mean, he threw everything we asked him. Kid came in, worked early last week, and it showed off this week because he's ready to go in our region.
Well, this is a region game, so it's a loss in the region strategy now. Just kind of regroup, re-rack.
We're getting ready for Fannin on Wednesday. That's our strategy.
Dustin Rinspich now the head coach of West Hall, and coach, you just kept scrapping and fighting and found a way to win that thing. Coming 4 runs down the bottom of the 7th, that's pretty cool.
It is very cool. Our guys kept fighting and fighting, and you know, we had some breaks go our way, and we had some very good at bats late in the game, especially. But you know, most importantly, I'm proud of our guys. They hung in there. It's easy to get down. We made some mistakes early, but they kept plugging along, and we had a chance to win it. Got back, tied it, and won it in the extra innings.
Yeah, I had some errors in the first inning, some literal errors and some kind of miscues, mistakes, and so forth, and got down 4-0. But again, winning it in extra innings, 8-7.
A win is a win. Listen, a win is a win. I don't care how she looks. A win is a win. You know, Will's our #1 guy, and Will's good. And he didn't have his stuff early in the game, and we spotted him 4 runs. But he kept us in it and got us to the 5th inning, and, you know, our guys kept their heads and kept their excitement level. And we finally got a couple breaks, and we had some good ABs, and we came back and won. I mean, this is what region baseball is all about.
Yeah, this is the region opener and a big win for you in the region. You used, 4 pitchers tonight, I think, yeah. And you've played a lot of games here in a very short span of days, but just about everybody has, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Because of all the weather stuff.
Absolutely. We've lost out on a lot of field time, but yeah, we did a good job keeping our arms in shape and getting guys ready. And, you know, we got a pretty deep pitching staff, and one guy comes out, the next guy, it's his job to hold the rope.
Well, you had I think it was Horton that had the no-hitter against Johnson. He wound up actually getting the win tonight.
Well, actually, it was Reynolds that had the
Reynolds, I'm sorry, Reynolds, yeah.
Reynolds came back on short rest, told me he felt good and wanted the ball, and came in and did a very good job and closed it down in the 8th inning.
What's this do for you now as far as, I mean, other than the fact that it's a region winner and the opener of the region schedule?
You know, I think this will give our guys some confidence. We've been scuffling this year. We've had some really good games and we've had some really bad games. And this team, we got a lot of new moving parts, and they're trying to learn how to play with one another. And that's one thing the weather did take away from us. We weren't on the field for 16 days, and you know, they're not used to playing beside one another, and they're starting to figure it out. And I think tonight we came together as a team, and they learned that everybody is pulling on that side of the rope, and we're capable of being a pretty good team.
All right, we've got Merritt Gazaway here with us tonight. He actually wound up with a game-winning RBI, a bunt single. Now, on your line tonight, let's see, you reached on an error, flied to center, had a sac fly, singled, wound up scoring a run in the big 7th inning where you tied it and then won it with a bunt single RBI. What was your strategy when you went to the plate, knowing you had a man at third? What were you thinking?
You know, Coach, he told me I had one shot to see if I could get a really good hit, and when I came up short, he decided he was going to give me a bunt. And you know, we've been working all year, and my strategy was just to get it down the line enough so that Austin could score.
Well, and it turned out actually being a hit. I mean, it wasn't just a sac bunt, because he came home with it, and you had the 10th hit of the game. It was how frustrating was it to knowing that you had out hit them and all of that kind of stuff, but you still trail most of the game.
It was definitely frustrating. You know, I was definitely yelling from center field all night, and it was just a great feeling to come back from a 7-4 deficit and win this game. It was just a great feeling.
Is that the kind of thing that gives the team a boost in confidence, even somewhere down the line?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when we started out, it was our game plan to stay hyped through the whole game, and it seemed through the 2nd and 3rd inning we just hit a bump. And you know, during that last inning when we scored 4 runs, it was alive in here, and I think that's what helped us win this ball game was just the whole dugout and the whole team and our family.
Of course, it's a big win because it's a region win.
Yes, sir, it is. It's a great feeling. We're 1-0, tied for first place, and we're just going to keep going. It's a marathon. And right now, you know, we're first in the marathon right now.
Yeah, and back to break even on the season, 3-3 overall. So the weather and all of that kind of stuff, but now you're still undefeated in the region.
Yes, sir. It's a great feeling. It's just hopefully we can win more and get a good spot in the playoffs.
Gainesville starting pitcher Caleb Whittington gave himself plenty of help at the plate early last week, going 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, a double, and 4 RBI as the Elephants shut out Alpharetta 7-0. Whittington also got the victory with 3 scoreless innings, striking out 4 while only walking 2 and allowing only 1 hit. Mikey Gonzalez came on for 4 scoreless innings on the mound, striking out 4 and giving up 4 hits to earn the save. Drew Wright with a couple of RBI, Jonathan Geddes with 1 RBI, along with Jack Langford, all went 2 for 4 at the plate for Gainesville. Whittington then hit a home run to finish with 2 hits and a pair of RBI for Gainesville and a 6-4 win over North Forsyth. Michael Curry added a double and an RBI for the Red Elephants, along with earning the save pitching. Harrison Stiles picked up the win from the mound. Elephants stayed unbeaten with a 3-1 win over North Gwinnett. Geddes got the win and going the distance and striking out 5. He helped his own cause with 2 doubles. Banks Griffith had a double and an RBI, and Whittington drove in the other run. North Hall's Micah Strickland had 2 hits, 2 runs, and a home run, but it wasn't enough as the Trojans were edged by North Gwinnett 5-3 in 8 innings. Remember, they only play 7 as a regular game in high school. Lincoln Hewitt had driven in Strickland for the tying run in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Trojans. Tabor Monjero had 3 hits, and Corbin Llewellyn had a pair of hits for North Hall. The Trojans then bounced back with a 16-1 win over East Hall and a 5-1 win over Lanier. In the East Hall game, Drew Coker got the win, and he and Fowler Brooks had a double and 3 RBI each. Strickland was 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored and an RBI, and Hewitt was 2 for 2 with 3 runs scored and an RBI. Well, Strickland stayed hot in the second game with a double, 2 RBI, and 2 runs scored as he went 3 for 4. Allen 2 for 3 with a double and an RBI, and Hewitt struck out 4 in picking up the win. Drew Atha and Aaron Miles teamed up for a no-hitter as the Trojans then waxed Gilmer 10-0. Strickland was 2 for 3 with 2 RBI and a run scored. Fowler Brooks and Corbin Llewellyn each had a pair of RBI. And Hewitt Matthew Cox scored twice, with Cox adding a run driven in. Hewitt was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a 7-2 loss to St. Pius, and Ather struck out a couple in a 7-1 loss to George Walton. Riverside swept a doubleheader with Greene County. In Game 1, the Eagles jumped out to an early lead on Greene and captured a 16-1 victory. A 2-run single by Cole Garcia and a wild pitch in the first inning and a pass ball and an error during the second inning supplying the early offense for the Eagles. Will Lovett had 3 extra base hits for Riverside. Greene County only got 1 hit off Ricky Jones, who allowed no earned runs, walked 6, and struck out 8 during his 4 innings of work. 2 Riverside pitchers combined to throw no hitter for the Eagles in a 22-1 victory in 3 innings over Greene. Russ McAfee and Noah Reisenfeld finished with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. Will Lovett with 2 extra base hits for the Eagles, and he doubled in the third and tripled also in that game. We jump back into the pool in just a second.
Your one-stop spot for complete auto repair is the Auto Works shop on Sprout Springs Road. On everything from oil changes to brakes, new and used tires and tune-ups, even the big jobs like transmissions. The specialists at the Auto Works can have you up and running just like that. You talk about value, the Auto Works will not be undersold on used tires or any locally priced repair job. Ask about special discounts for students and teachers with your ID. That's the Auto Works at 6671 Spout Springs Road, just past Flowery Branch High and Spout Springs Elementary Schools. Phone 770-967-1732.
Gary Glenn back on the set of Hall County Sports Television along with Rob Bruce, who is the pastor at McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. And Rob, into a series on prayer now.
Yeah, that's right, Gary. We will be in a series on prayer up until Palm Sunday. We'll be talking about how you can rest assured that God hears your prayer, how I should pray, what can I pray for, those type of things.
All right, sounds like an interesting topic. Look forward to hearing it, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Hall County Sports is also brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals, and remember, when you go green Ford. By Turner Wood & Smith, serving the insurance needs of our area for over 100 years. And by McKelvey Road United Methodist Church on McKelvey Road in Oakwood. Loving Christ, loving people, and helping people love Christ. We're back. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. Led by 4 individual national champions and a strong team showing, the Brenau University Golden Tigers swim team took 3rd at the 2015 NAIA National Swimming and Diving Championship meet in Oklahoma City this past weekend. It was the highest finish in school history. Host Oklahoma Baptist won its 3rd straight and pretty well dominated the meet with 765 points. Savannah College of Arts and Design from our state was 2nd with 481 points, and Brenau was 3rd with 439. Brenau's Courtney Hayward, a sophomore from Townsville, Australia, led the way, collecting All-American honors by capturing 3 national titles in the meet, including a win in the 1650 freestyle and 1658.36. Teammate Ella Kleinschmidt, a freshman from Hervey Bay in Queensland, Australia, added to the team score with a 5th-place finish in 1749.20. In the 200-yard backstroke, sophomore Talia Sola from Madrid, Spain, who previously won a national title in the 100 backstroke early in the meet, narrowly missed a 2nd title, touching just 7/100ths of a second after OBU's Ines Remisaro of Uruguay, a competitor in the 2011 Pan American Games and the 2012 Olympics.
Brownell Junior Mary Catherine Jobby of Slidell, Louisiana, took second place in the 200 breaststroke in 2:24.29 to earn All-American honors, while the 400 freestyle relay team of senior Shelby Rumker of Douglas, freshman Alicia Hodges of Perth, Australia, senior Michelle Billot of Lafayette, Louisiana, and Hayward finished in fourth place with a time of 3:31.44. And we hope to have Coach Blair Bachman with us on next week's show. In high school swimming, the Times Co-Male Swimmers of the Year were folks viewers of this show will recognize. Colin Monahan of Gainesville and Ty Powers of North Hall, who've been on this show for the last 2 weeks. Both won gold and silver medals in events at the latest state championships, and both will go on to swim in the SEC. Monahan at Georgia and Powers at Tennessee. The female award winner was Gainesville sophomore Sydney Cochran, a Hall County butterfly champ, and placing 5th and 9th at state in the 500 and 200 freestyle events. We'll have more on spring sports when we come back. We're back. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports, and we start our springtime wrap-up with soccer. And it was a sort of double hat trick for East Hall's Leo Toledo. He had 6 goals, also had 4 assists to lead the Vikings to a 12-2 win over Fannin County. Sherman Lucero also with the sombrero, 3 goals and 2 assists for East Hall in that one. And Toledo and Diego Alarcon had scored as the Vikings beat Flowery Branch 2-1. The day before had beaten Cedar Shoals 4-1. The Branch did. The Branch's Laura Zwald on the girls' side scored in each half, and 7 of her teammates also tallied as the Lady Falcons thumped the Lady Vikings 9-0. And Zwald had a hat trick in the Branch girls' 7-0 blowout of Cedar Shoals. Battles of Oakwood went to the Johnson boys and West Hall girls. Fabian Abarca scored the lone goal on a penalty kick very early on in a 1-0 win over the Spartans. It was the Knights' 7th straight win over West Hall. Both teams reportedly ranked number 2 at the time in their respective classes. Gerardo Molina in goal for Johnson in that one. It's also a 1-0 win for West Hall's girls over the Lady Knights. Rachel Beaulieu scored and Lucia Barra got the shutout in goal. The Lady Knights bounced back with a 3-0 shutout of Stevens County, while West Hall lost to Lakeview 5-2. The Knights then beat Stevens County 5-2, Abarca scoring twice for the boys, and Lumpkin County, they beat them 4-1. Abarca had a goal and an assist. Fernando Carrillo had a goal and 2 assists. The Lady Knights and Lumpkin on that day tied 0-0. Hannah Hodge had 11 saves, including a double save on a shot and a rebound in that one. And the Johnson boys look like they're off to another good start after finishing as state runners-up last year.
As a returning player, what are your goals for this season?
To take back home a state championship. We were so close last year, but we came up a little short. And hopefully this year we can make another run.
How do you feel about your new teammates?
Good. It's not easy when you make a transition from so many seniors we lost last year, but we're doing very well.
Do you have good communication between your new players?
Yeah, on and off the field. We get along very good.
As a returning player, what are your goals for this season?
As a returning player, I want to make myself better to help the team out, and as a team, of course, we want to go all the way and win state.
Do you have good communication with in between your players?
Yes, everybody. I mean, as a captain, you kind of want to be involved with everybody and try to get along with everybody to earn respect and to play better in the field.
And how do you feel about your new teammates?
I feel really good. They are humble, they are hungry, and they are motivated to do big things.
As a returning player, what are your goals for this season?
To win a region and to make it to the state final again.
How do you feel about your new teammates?
I feel like they're very young, but yet they're young, but yet they're mature at the same time. We're going together as a team, and they're very good players.
Do you have good communication between players?
I mean, yeah, we have great communication during players. Every practice we grow together. Every game we grow together. We're growing together as a family, and it's a great feeling in the locker room, and especially on the field.
Staying with soccer, the Lakeview girls had opened their Area 8A schedule with a solid 7-1 victory over George Walton Academy. Carmen Wagner scored 4 goals to lead the Lady Lions, and the Lakeview boys beat George Walton that day 2-1. Taylor Buffington had 2 goals and an assist in the Chastity girls' 4-0 win over White County, while Gainesville's Liz Fisher tallied 4 goals in the Lady Elephants' 10-0 shutout of Cedar Shoals. North Hall's boys beat Madison County 4-1. Alec Zimmerman led the Trojans with 3 goals, and then he had the lone goal off an assist by Jairo Barrientos in a 1-0 win over Flowery Branch. Goalie Joel Barrientos had the shutout for the Trojans. In golf, 3 Red Elephants shot under pars. The Gainesville boys golf team won the Apple Mountain Invitational hosted by Habersham Central. Gainesville finished 6 under as a team with a score of 282. Placed first out of 22 teams there. They were 8 shots better than second place Great Atlanta Christian. Gainesville's B team, by the way, finished 12. Spencer Alston shot a 5 under 67 to lead the Red Elephant varsity. Lawson King shot a 70. Nathan Williams carded a 71. In other golf, Flowery Branch's boys beat Riverside and West Hall, while the Riverside Military Eagles were led by Alex Polar Barr and Brandon Boisfontaine, who both shot very solid 30s over 6 holes. Elsewhere, Gainesville's girls beat West Hall. You know, one team sport that's really coming along is lacrosse here in the area, and Riverside's lacrosse team got its first win of the season in deciding fashion, beating Gainesville 11-3 after coming up short against North Springs 6-13 in the previous game. The most goals in the win scored by Riverside by far all year, led in scoring by Brandon Grant with 4 goals, and Ethan Cobb had 3. Well, speaking of Riverside, now their crew team members participated in an ergata at the Lake Linear Rowing Club. Now, an ergata is a contest of endurance which uses the rowing machines, a large component of a rower's training on land in the off-season, and they want to see who can pull the fastest 2,000-meter time. Well, Kevin Muir in 6:37.3 placed first in the youth men's category. Stuart Kelly in 7:34.7 placed first in the youth men's lightweight, and Chase Nunez at 7:12.5 placed third in the youth men's category. Staying with the cadets, the Riverside Military Academy drill team, the Fusiliers and Color Guard cadets were selected for the honor of folding and presenting the U.S. flag during the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 recent NASCAR Sprint Cup races at the Atlanta Motor Speedway back on March the 1st. Major Dan Rooney, who is the founder and CEO of Folds of Honor, served as the Grand Marshal of Sunday's race. The cadets had opportunities to hear inspirational stories from family members of military heroes who had sacrificed their lives fighting for the preservation of our freedom. Individuals shared how Folds of Honor had helped their families overcome hardships and fund their children's education. Following the last on-stage flag folding event, the cadets headed to the racetrack arena where they mingled with the NASCAR drivers before the race, and I'm sure they had a really good time. Okay, here's some unfinished business for you. Now, that basketball team that beat Johnson, Jonesboro, well, they wound up winning the 4A state championship over Carrollton, 55-50, the final. Now, you remember that loss, the only game that Johnson lost all year long, so pretty good year if the only game you lost was to the eventual state champs. By the way, St. Francis, who had sidelined Lakeview's boys in the first round, wound up winning the private school title in single A 96-81 over Green Forest. The Mays girls, who beat Gainesville, were the runners-up in 5A. They were beaten by Stevenson for the title, 65-56. And Beach of Savannah, which beat East Hall's girls in the AAA semifinals, they finished as runner-up to Laney, 70-55. And finally, it was a big weekend of bicycle racing as the Gainesville Grand Prix events were contested just up the road in Claremont. Now, the Times reports that Winston David went on to pretty much dominate the circuit race portion of the event, and this is the 4th year of the Gainesville Grand Prix here locally, and it has grown, they say, from about 120 people to around 250 participants. If you want more on all the bicycle racing, you can go to www.feedyourdingo.com. I kid you not, www.feedyourdingo.com. That's our show for this week. Join us next week right here for more Hall County Sports. I'm Gary Glenn.